the voice of God. I mean, Jesus is just a synonym. It's just a synonym for reality. Jesus is just a synonym for reality. Jesus is a synonym of one who came and demonstrated the resurrection from the dead. He overcame death, and he was out of here and said, I've overcome the world. And it's a reality, it's a truth. And so, Dancing Water said to me, Grant, can you speak a bit more on the hearing of the voice of God? Well, of course I can. When you hear your true voice is the voice for God. I'm not talking about the voice of dead men that resonate in your head. Like I've spoken to people in the church before, and they said, oh, but I believe this or I believe that. I said, well, where does that belief come from? They said, well, I heard the pastor say such and such. Okay? So, recorded in their body, in their biological computer, they heard the pastor say certain doctrines from the Bible that they downloaded into their structure of their anatomy that they believe to be true, and they resonate with a certain frequency, light and sound fields. And of course, every time there's a contradiction to that teaching, the voice of the pastor resonates in their head again, and they say, no, I can't believe that because the pastor said that. Okay? So they didn't hear the voice of the living God, of their original encryption, of their true voice flowing through from the inner kingdom deep within their cellular structure. They didn't hear the original voice of creation speak to them, the true manifestation of reality. No, they heard the voices of dead men speaking to them. And can you imagine, that your whole genetic structure is the voices of dead men. It's all light and sound. And all it is the voices and the outside exterior sensuality coming back and downloading into your computation, into the central, control room of your reality. All of the controls that are downloaded in through sensuality are downloaded into you and corrupt the main program which wants to come forth and emanate the reality of your original purpose for coming forth. You're here to originally bring forth the true living structures of life and to live an experiential reality here, so that through your living experiences you could record all of the wonderful things that you learned into the archives of your biological computer and have them as a living memory matrix. And that you could, through all incarnations and space-time memories, accrue to yourself all of those wonderful expressions of learning that were congruent with life everywhere. But because of the destruction and the corruption of the alien intruders and the race lines that have perpetrated their agendas in the construct of the hologram of the Earth and the Milky Way galaxy, there is a destruction running here. So to hear the voice of God means that you're going to desire within yourself to hear your original voice. The original voice of the elemental constructs of the higher dimensional frequencies of the gestalt of consciousness, those stations of consciousness that represent the higher flows from all knowledge of creation flowing down through the step-down transduction sequences into the incarnate self that you are here as an expression of reality, that you can walk in truth and sincerity and beauty and goodness and wholeness here to appreciate life. But no, you've been downloaded with corrupt files and you are setting your mind and you're distracted by all of the voices of dead men that have programmed your hologram. And the hologram is programmed by sound tones. For example, the voices of dead men spoke to you. You download it biologically into your anatomy, you reproduce it, you send it out again, and you think that's true. And so you're creating a hologram of images and sound and tone frequencies of electromagnetic, mathematical encryptions of your reality, constellations of thought, and you're producing a replica of delusion through the programming of corruption from the people of this world who have fallen from the knowledge of the truth within themselves, and you're the byproduct of it. But if you're going to waken up to yourself and hear the voice of God, it'll be your own true voice coming through back into reality within you. It'll resonate with you. It'll become the voice of many waters. It'll become every cell of your body streaming truth into the anatomy of your universal template. You will be bringing forth the holy frequency of life and light and liberty and beauty and goodness, and you'll be resonating with it. You'll be the symphony of life. Every member of creation coming into your divine reformulation as an expression of unity, because everyone is a member of everyone else. And the voice of God is the voice of many waters. It's the voice of everyone flowing through you as the one voice that exists as reality, a symphony of life. And the moment that you start to bring that in, you'll start to change your hologram of existence, because everything here is a hologram of projection and perception. And you're projecting a delusion. And you're perceiving a delusion. And you think it's true because, well, you're doing it. How can you doubt it? It's you doing it and you think, well, that's my reality. It's your reality. Of course it's your reality. But who has programmed the hologram? Have you programmed your own hologram? Have you put into your mind, into your templates of construction, the way you've constructed your anatomy, have you put in there what you truly want to remember as the true self that you are? Or have you been coerced and downloaded with programs and control mechanisms that you don't particularly want to participate with? We're all running agendas here in the world for the one world government. We're all running agendas for the alien takeover. We've been coded genetically through hybridization programs through eons of time. And we're doing it unconsciously. We're constantly destroying ourselves and one another, and we're running the agendas of the alien takeover because of ignorance. We're ignorant of our true reality. We don't know who we are and what we truly want. We think this is it. We think this world's it. And this world is not it, The alien takeover, the alien takeover unit of humanity is, I've described a lot of times on this, in this room, that the powers and principalities and rulers of darkness, it describes in the Bible, that control the mind of man. It's called the devil, right? It's called the devil because you're not using your whole mind, you're using control mechanisms. So when you realize that in this particle universe, there is a state of decay within the atomic structure of your atoms. And your atoms have a half-life, they drop down into a state of decay, and after a while your whole body falls down into death because it can't get the quanta to regenerate itself. It is being plundered by the certain structure of your antiparticle universe. Now your antiparticle universe is existing in exactly the same space as your particle universe. One spinning one way, one spinning the other way in the holographic generation of your life that you see. You see your body, you see the world around you. It's a multi-dimensional screen of perception of, extension of light and sound fields through, mathematical encryptions. So what's happened is, you are being depleted in the structure of your body, right? And the alien takeover is those parts of consciousness that are in a parallel universal structure that is in a state of fall or it's in a state of implosion. In other words, certain parts of the whole creation came in, when you're experimenting free will, what can you do with free will? Well, free will has certain parameters. You can't go outside the parameters of creative energy. If you do, you'll fall into a state of decay because you're not returning life flows to the creative energy. And you're falling into a state of separation in your mind, and you start to perpetuate what we call dark light structures of non-return to God anyway, but it's like you're starting to create structures within you that would cause a state of decay and a collapse, what we call implosion. It's like death would come to you because you're not continuing in your own structure. Perpetual motion life flows to the original source of creation that brought you here into manifestation. In other words, you've shut yourself off through ignorance, blah blah blah, etc. And so what happened is certain factions of creation fell into decay, and they realised they had a finite life and a certain amount of energy left within their system, within their matrices, and that they could live for a certain time, but they would be consuming their own energy within their constructs of their own hologram, whether it be planet, whether it be star systems or whatever. And so they devised technology to harvest and harness other living systems. So they would do time rip technology, interdimensional travel. They could travel to other living systems, which we were currently doing beforehand. In the living structure, everyone is continuously moving in between systems and sharing information and love and manifestation. So they were able to travel into other planets and star systems. Whether it be through interdimensional craft or just like time rip technology. They had a lot of technology, very high frequency of thought. The people who have fallen away from the knowledge of truth originally. And so they invaded other living systems and implemented mind controls and programming upon the innocent populations that were growing through their normal organic return to God's source. In other words, when we came out of God's source, we would step right down into incarnation in the outer realms of manifestation. We would glean information experientially and file down our genetic coding into the construct of our body, and we would form within ourselves a living memory matrix that we would say would be our projection of our hologram. So they came into these planetary systems that were sort of very naive, very innocent, open and bit naked, and these high-dimensional structures of fallen, structure would come in and virtually through their power force their agenda upon the innocent people and program the innocent evolving people with programs of corruption and put their genetic codes into the biological suit of our body and the hologram of the earth, for example, and they would actually extract remotely energy codes and signatures of life out of our higher dimensional structures and spin flows of energy. They would construct reverse spins, reverse flows, mirror technology to take gene sequences out and put energy into constructs that would actually form a harness, and they would harvest our energy and take it out into their matrix to feed their matrix so that they would, stave off the implosion of their structure, and they would try to sustain themselves through raping other planets and other living systems. Well, that's what it is. That's the alien takeover. And there's many technologies operating in the Earth and have been for millions of years. And through the galaxy in this time wave, there's 950 billion years of distortion have been coming in and sort of been infiltrating various systems within the structure of consciousness. Most of the consciousness of the galaxy cannot, not galaxy, but of the cosmic reality, or multi-cosmoses, most of the structures cannot fall because they are unassailable, but only parts inside those structures can fall and regenerate themselves through certain life processes.